Hey everyone, I'm in my comfy chair. This microphone, I don't know if you can see it, just reaches if I prop the camera there, so I probably look a little bit ridiculous with my turban shadow. But what is it? It's Friday evening. Been a kind of a crappy couple of 2 days. The main thing being my phone has completely died and it was stuck in a reboot loop. This is a long, boring story. The outcome so far is that I won't have it for like a week, while hopefully a part can be replaced or Apple will replace it, like it's still within its year warranty. And yeah, it's just a bit of a shitty situation because number one, it's like a very social, opportunity to be social, connection, possibly time of year, and also you need to check in everywhere. And while you can print out your vaccine certificate, which I have, I still feel like a fraud even though I know it's legit, because it's just such a flimsy piece of paper and it's much more clunky to like go anywhere, so it's just very, very inconvenient. But I've huffed my puff and I know I'll make the most of this situation. No, I don't think I will. Look, I'm just bummed at the situation, but my approach so far has been to like just plan my week to be really nice and busy, so I'm just distracted. And because, as is the case with most tech things, these things just resolve themselves in one way or another. Before, outside, Mum was giving me a little hair trim, but my god, my hair just needs a proper haircut. I haven't been proactive and booked a haircut at any of the dry cut curly hair places because I just wasn't on the ball, and I haven't gone anywhere I'm happy with, so I'd be trying somewhere new. And yeah, all the appointments, the next ones are like in February, but gosh, my hair needs a bit of attention because it's all one length now, and yeah, I think it could even be a bit healthier. So that's a slight poop. While we're on the runs of poops, this isn't really a poop because I sort of knew this would be the case, but yesterday we tested Merlin with Nelly, who's featured a lot in my videos. He's a special doggo. Looked after him a lot throughout his whole life. He's like 10 now, when his fam have gone away. The first time we tested him with Merlin when he was a pup, it just was so bad. Like, Nelson just sort of shut down, was like, I'm being harassed, and Merlin was just jumping on top of him like, play with me, and his bitey puppy Labrador sitting on other dog style. Nothing really bad happened when we matched them. It was just like, I actually was like, this just isn't a good idea. Like, I actually like both dogs less, and I want to feel warmly towards at least one of them, preferably both, and they just don't bring out the best energy in each other. And I feel like I would have had to be ref like 24/7 if we looked after him. So between the two doggos, if we looked after him, and that's like just too much work. Like, I wouldn't feel comfortable like leaving them, and I want to have a bit of flexibility with my time, which I am sad about. But I took Merlin to the vet this morning to get an injection and just ask about a few different things, and he literally couldn't have been better. He made me so proud. We were just in the waiting room and he's lying down at my feet, and I just like, I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, and I just whispered, like, not expecting him to do it because it's a different context or whatever, the word slippers, which for him, I've like kind of taught him to like mean that he like warms your feet. And he did. He just like put his paws on my feet and his head on his paws, and he's just looking around the vet. I was like, he is a gem, and he's just so not scared at the vet. He's like very calm. I think because they're quite good. Obviously, if you have a dog who doesn't like the vet, then that's just the situation, and can relate to that because Harvey hated it. But for dogs that aren't phased because they have a very high pain threshold, and I don't know, just don't seem phased by invasive physical touch, like the nurses and vets are quite good at not encouraging like hyper behaviour. And also I think Merlin just sees it as like a good behaviour place. Like, if he's good, he gets a treat and like a training opportunity. So yeah, he was kind of freakishly well behaved and made me so proud. just yay for a positive experience, because he was not showing his best side when Nelson was around. But he's also still such a baby, so it still could happen. I'm going to have an early night. While it'll be a bit annoying going anywhere, having to like wave my piece of paper instead of being able to check in with your vaccination status, I intend to do a food shop tomorrow and yeah, make some delicious stuff this weekend. I hope you're enjoying the Vlogmases so far, and see you soon. Merlin and I are just going to drive a couple of blocks. When we were on our morning walk this morning, I saw some cute little ones that I could use for indoor plants, which would be so great because they'd be free if they're still there, and they're the perfect size and quite cute. Like one had little ladybug stuck on the ring, so fake ones. Yeah, hopefully they're still there. all. It's Sunday morning. Merlin has been a dream the last couple of nights because he's on some steroids for some itchiness and they calm him down a lot, and because he's not itching, he doesn't wake up and itch and then go, right, I'm like jazzed up and ready to go. So he just keeps sleeping. So I had a really good sleep. But yeah, this morning I have been distracted by Rose and Gio getting a 39-40 and getting through to the final. Well, hopefully, but doing so good. So proud. Such a joy to watch them. And then I was getting a handle on posting Instagram photos through a laptop and not a phone, through the business suite, which I've never done before and was really clunky, but I think it worked. I just posted the chai spice carrot cake with lemon cream cheese frosting for today's video, and yeah, that's sort of all I can do at the moment without a phone. I would love to spruik the calendar more, but I'm not really sure how to do that. Fingers crossed it all resolves itself within a week and life will continue on. It's fine. I'm going to do the washing up now and cook a few things. Hello, I'm back. That was so delicious. Didn't think vegan calamari could be as yummy. Definitely wasn't as like light and zesty and sea salty as I remember. What it was fabulous. It did have like some Chinese five spice or something going on, I feel like, to compensate for lack of base flavour, but that was fine. And the lamb in the souvlaki was mushroom based, and the marinade was so flavourful. I think I really enjoyed it, but I definitely am like, just towards fake meats in general. Like super yum now and then, but I think there's like a textural barrier that makes me put the brakes on it at a certain point, but would highly recommend. I should be souvlaki. Lucky. I'm so glad one of my shokupan efforts worked out. I knew they definitely weren't going to like be perfect first go, although I was quite gutted. The first one was such a flop. It feels so technical, the whole process. I'm sure once I do it a few times I'll get the hang of it. But the one made out of whole rice, I went for sushi rice, even though it didn't rise too well, which I think was down to me on when I added the yeast as well as the water temperature and a few other factors. Even so, it was so nice, so soft and squidgy and sweet. And even though it's a batter, if you could make a dough form of it and bake it into little buns, or I'm thinking like, is it Polish, those like sweet custard filled bread little discs. Wow, that rained on their sophistication parade, but but that's exciting. Have not experienced a gluten-free bread situation as yum as that. It's literally like one ingredient with a few other little things to help it rise and make it into bread. As someone with a sensitive starchy stomach gut, that was a dream to eat. Also, like, you could make like finger buns and like that whole, I'm just thinking like Australian bread goods with it, but also can be used for savoury stuff. Very exciting. While I was waiting today for various shokupan efforts to rise, I watched a couple of Australia Zoo Irwin videos because, I don't know, every once in a while I have little moments thinking about them as someone who is like the same age as Bindi and was very aware that when you're like really young and you don't realise that everyone else your age is having the same experience, she was like the first famous person of the same age that I was like conscious of, and I was definitely encouraged to like her more than I did or something. I didn't have any like bad feelings towards her. I just remember my grandmother like giving me like a Bindi Irwin magazine, Irwin related stuff, and when something's forced on you, you're just like, nah. But also she always felt so much younger, I think, because what dawned on me today, because I'm always thinking about this, is their like vibe. I hope some people know who I'm talking about here, like Steve Irwin, the Irwins Australia Zoo. I know they're definitely big in America, like maybe even more than they're huge here. Australia Zoo is a zoo, has a humongous conservation side of it, which I think is funded through the zoo, which Steve Irwin made like a zoo cross theme park vibe. I think that's why it just sits a bit weird with me and a lot of people, maybe like Australian people, because it's quite like Americanized, and we do have theme parks here, but they're such an obvious copy of the better originals in America. And when it's a zoo form, which has a very real life conservation, real life animals, it feels a bit murky when you like bring real animals into a theme park setting, into a more show-y like Disney World setting, especially because like SeaWorld stuff and those like true theme parks which have animals aren't treated well. So there's that element which feels a bit hard to sit comfortably with. But then I'm constantly thinking of how sort of hard it is to feel like they're genuine. I do believe they're genuine and like a nice, lovely people, but there are just a few elements which, I don't know, maybe you can see what I'm saying, because they're on TV so much. I feel like their personalities are so well documented, or at least their TV personalities are. Who knows? But I do sort of feel that if you have Steve Irwin's genes in you, then you do have this sort of slightly unbelievable, constantly outward positivity that is a little bit jarring or unbelievable or shocking to like be witness to, because it's so rare or something. I was getting a bit of like comfort from their videos because they sort of feel like they don't change, like they live at Australia Zoo, which is sort of this alternative reality, and it doesn't feel like COVID really impacted their daily runnings, because obviously they were still rescuing animals, still looking after the animals. Even though they are like Australia's biggest tourist attraction, their like job is still very ongoing, and their life is so khaki, it's so of that world, that they are interesting to observe, I guess, because they don't really change and they don't feel quite of our world, like socialised. Then there's the part that Bindi got engaged at 21 and she's now a mum, which me at like 24, her age, not on that trajectory. And because it is like a very family business, Australia doesn't have such public Australia businesses, and the Americanized side of Australia Zoo, I don't know, and the like intense unfailing positivity does feel a bit Christian cult-like. But I think when I watch them, honestly, I'm just like, it taps into a very specific, interesting nostalgia I have for Steve Irwin documentaries that I remember borrowing religiously from Video Easy, and I think ultimately like being a bit jelly for their positivity and like sense of purpose. And I don't know, I'm sure their lives aren't as simple as it's portrayed in like a kid-friendly docu format. But yeah, it is interesting, isn't it? Connecting with things of our past. Speaking of, I stumbled upon, in more minutes, waiting for that shokupan to rise, which it did not, which is the lol, or cook in the oven. I stumbled across a YouTube channel where two therapists, guys somewhere in the US, they watch films and then like offer commentary on them. And I was watching some Twilight ones, which is honestly continuously shocking that when we don't have a definite like calling out of what's in those films, like it was really interesting hearing them say how Jacob and Edward display very real signs of like incel culture towards Bella, which is very true when you see them explain it. They also comment like heaps of other films like Inside Out, Lord of the Rings, Silver Linings Playbook, lots of different ones. Yeah, how their relationships with Bella at various points, Jacob more prominently, it's very one-sided, like one pursuing the other, and Jacob especially in Eclipse where he kisses Bella and she does not kiss back, and he says something like, "You will choose me," or like fall in love with me, and not taking no as an answer. Beep, 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 beep. Don't know where I was going with that, but I would recommend, and always good to unpack those layers of things we absorbed growing up that we knew were probably problematic but didn't have the brains to process, and probably still don't. What was wrong with them? Yeah. I think I've chatted a lot in this Vlogmas, so I'll wrap it up here. Hope you're enjoying them. I am finding this December quite hard, to be honest. I'm realising I did quite well in lockdown. Like I do quite well when I know sort of the parameters I have to work with and I can like make the most of that, but then slingshotting back to like essentially any freedoms, but it's murky because like you do what you're comfortable with, and how much do you socialize, and it all feels a bit like it's out of our muscle memory or deconditioned or something, and then not having a bloody phone to make socializing that bit easier and safer feeling. Yeah, all to say it's many feels of around this time. Tomorrow's going to be really warm. I'm looking forward to it. I will see you soon, and thank you for watching. Bye.